Welcome to Monday night's Tilton Talk show, sponsored by the ELO Group. Well, a possible 3 valuable points dropped at the weekend, but other events on and off the pitch overshadow what should have been another great Blues away day. Coins, punches, stewarding, fans locked out and police baton wielding is not the way any of us want to go. Blues ladies get a very difficult draw in the FA Cup, and the return of Brucey to St Andrews on Thursday will hopefully see the Tigers go away with a tail between the legs. No pies or pints to be given away this week, but it's only a tenner to get in, so let's stick our 2 fingers up to Sky TV and get as many down to St Andrews as possible. Special guest or 2 with us tonight, looking forward to Pew's weekly rant, and of course, what's in the box, as we answer those questions after half-time. Just another week being a Blues fan.
We love you, what more can we say? We have the cheapest tops here at St Andrews. They gotta give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever, let's hear it from the stand. So come on City, sing this song once more. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy, following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? From the Tilton, we'll support you till the end of the day.
Well, a massive welcome and hello to Monday night's Tilton Talk show, sponsored by the ELO Group. Our special guest in the studio tonight is Aamir Javaid from Birmingham City Football Club. Welcome.
Hello. Hang on, ready?
You're ready, please. There you go. You've now officially had the clap off the crew. Everybody who comes in gets the clap. Right, the first question that we want to put to you tonight, Aamir, is are you a Birmingham City fan?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
You're not. So what football team do you support?
Arsenal.
Q Christopher Brown.
Sorry?
Q Christopher Brown.
Can you just say it one more time?
What football team do you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. Q Christopher Brown. Let's do this. Listen to this, my friend.
And it goes again towards the towering Zigic. Oh, confusion and Martin has surely scored the winning goal for Birmingham City. What a finish! What a final! What a celebration! What a shock!
Well, what a calamity as well, as far as Arsenal's defending goes. Szczesny and Koscielny just getting each
The door open.
Oh dear. Sorry about that, mate.
Is the door open?
The door's always open to the Tilton Talk show, to be perfectly honest with you. 5 years ago since we went down to Wembley, and what an absolutely amazing day that was. Still brings shackles to the back of my neck every time I think, talk or see anything to do with that day. I dare say you weren't expecting Birmingham to win. Were you working for the Blues at that time?
Back then I didn't work for them.
You didn't?
Glad I didn't work for
You're
them.
glad you didn't?
I'm
Yeah.
really glad I didn't work for them back then, especially on that day.
5 years ago. No, you're a computer savvy kind of guy, I take it, aren't you?
Yep.
That acronym, OMG, what does that stand for?
Oh my God.
Obafemi Martin's goal.
Oh gosh.
All right, that's enough abuse. Welcome to you anyway, my good friend. Aamir, if you don't know, is the guru of all tickets to do with Birmingham City Football Club, and we brought him in tonight. We dragged him in, kicking and screaming, to be perfectly honest with you. And we're gonna thrash out how the ticketing system works and get to know you and have a bit of a laugh, a bit of fun. Also in the studio tonight with us is the one and only Mr. Natalie Peters. How are you, Buster?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Cracking.
Came straight from work. It was an alright day at work.
Yeah, all right, that's enough. Christopher Brown.
Go on.
Chris, we hadn't just, yeah? Chris Brown, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Have you had a good news story this week or not?
Not really. No.
No. Have you had a good news story this week, Mr. Pugh? Have you had a good news story this week?
I got Agents of the Week at work.
You got what?
Agents
Congratulations.
of the Week.
Yeah, okay. Any good news story from yourself, for me? Anything nice happened to you this week?
Oh, I've had a shocking week, especially with the football. I prefer not to mention it.
I did see your Facebook post yesterday, but I thought I was really, really tempted to comment, but obviously I didn't want to because we've got
I've
that
stopped
little,
liking football. I'm into fishing.
I love fly
Perfect
fishing.
sport.
Bit of fly
Right.
fishing. I'll do that with you all day,
No
every
stress
day.
at all.
Right, okay, first 10 minutes of the show we're going to dedicate to the shenanigans that went on over the weekend up at Queen's Park Rangers. Nat, thanks for coming in to discuss that because you were actually kind of in the thick of it, so to speak. And I did see some people's posts today saying that you were there.
Who did you see?
Mate, one of my sources, mate. I can't divulge. You know what I mean? I have to get these things close to my chest now, close to my chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On your take of it, what did you see, hear, or experience?
Right. Well, I got to the ground about 20 to 25 to 3. Walked down to what I thought was the away end. It took about a minute to figure out. There was no signpost nor directing that this wasn't the away end for us. It was the lower tier entrance, and the upper tier entrance was about a 5-minute walk away. So you go for it.
So you were in upper tier, were you?
Upper tier, that's
Okay.
right. So you get to the upper tier. Got to the upper tier entrance about just before a quarter to 3. Stood outside, and there's a big crowd queue. I kind of expected it. I thought at first it was because they obviously frisking since this Paris attacks in November. They've been frisking people down. You can't. To be honest, I half expected. We got into the thick of the crowd. 5-10 minutes, the crowd was growing, but it wasn't moving off on the other end. It was just stood still, and everyone's wondering what's going on. But by now, you're obviously getting 5 to 10 to 3, 10 to 5 to 3, and then you're thinking, what is going on? And I looked at the front, and they'd locked the gates to go to the turnstiles. And then I think more and more people clocked on what was happening, and obviously people started getting agitated. They spent £30 or 30 odd quid.
£32 a tickets, yeah.
32 quid on the ticket. A lot more probably getting down on the train or the car, and they're looking like at the moment QPR don't want to let us in to watch the game. So then you've got obviously there's now this crowd is ever growing. People start bumping into each other, pushing each other, and it starts to surge forward. And bearing in mind, as anyone in this room can tell you, and probably quite a few people who've seen me past, I'm a big guy.
Not so small, I would
Not
say.
so
Not so small.
larger than life.
We'll just say rotund.
Yeah, rotund.
Matches the rotund.
Larger than life. But I'm getting chucked around like a sack of spuds.
Yeah, you know, there was children, women, old people, young people.
Well, I remember
all sorts in the mix.
There was a kid, because I eventually got near the front quite quickly, and there was because I'd been thrown forward, and there was a kid who was literally jammed up against the iron gate. Blues fans, the old Bill will say that it was actually to try and get into the ground or to try and kick off. Blues fans started kicking the fence down, but I think it was much to get out the actual crowd trouble as anything else. They tried kicking his gate down. A line of police have tried to storm in to try to solve this problem. They've not been able to do so for another 5 or 10 minutes. By then, it is now it's now getting very, very bad. It's getting very, very agitated in there. You know, everyone's panicking, not just because we're not getting the game, but you're thinking, no, this could be a health and safety thing because people are bashing into each other. And then they did the stupidest thing I think they did at the old day, the QPR stewards. Rather than open the gate, the whole gate, they opened one little sub-gate within the gate, which is probably, I'm looking at Chris's door frame there, it's probably 2/3
which you can get through, to be perfectly honest with you.
You can get
No,
through.
I meant you personally.
which you can get through, but it's designed for one person at a time to get
Ridiculous,
through,
mate.
not 1,000 people. And then they decided then to try and let a group of us in through at once. I'm talking about 20 people, and hold everyone back.
And there was
which
no
just an
police loud
absolute-
hailers, no nothing.
There was no messaging,
Crazy.
no conversations, absolutely nothing going on. Quite frankly, it was a shambles. But it wasn't just the fact we missed, because I was one of the early ones, and I got in 10 minutes after kick-off. It wasn't just the fact it was an absolute shambles in terms of not watching the game. It was something that could have really certainly sort of really messed the
Capo's saying here,
situation.
police horses were threatening an hour before the game, and I got told not to stand by a police horse and kindly ask for their name to give them a stroke, etc. And their batons were already pulled out. That was an hour before the game. So it all look. I can't. Right. One of the reasons I didn't really dive into emails, etc. with Queen's Park Rangers today, like I did with Bristol a few weeks ago, is because I knew that this one would have legal implications. So not quite my job. Let them have all the inquiries, etc., etc., etc. first, and then we'll perhaps pick up on this maybe in another couple of weeks. Perhaps you could come back in a couple of weeks once the dust is settled and they found out what the analysis is. But it sounds as though, to me, the policing was abysmal. Right, the stewarding was abysmal.
Well, I think the stewarding was even worse than the policing. Because to be fair, when I was speaking to the coppers didn't really have an idea what was going on. They didn't know why the gates had been locked. The stewards hadn't even let them know.
Oh, well, listen, when we went down to Wembley to beat Arsenal in the Carling Cup final in just 5 years ago, wasn't it? Only five. Sorry, Aamir. The police at Wembley were superb. Right, it was hacking it down with rain. I was sat under a ledge outside Lidl drinking a bottle of whiskey because I was that cold, sticking it in a McDonald's coffee, and the copper looked at me and says, "Oh, look, that looks a nice drop." I said, "Do you want some?" He said, "My dad, mate, I'm on duty." And I actually offered him the swap for the full bottle of whiskey for his hat so I could keep dry. And we're just having a laugh, having a bit of banter, nice bit of fun, happy days, everything all good and proper. But it seems as though some of them, they dare I say that they almost looked prepared for it.
Well, so I mean, not just at QPR, but I've known it at police officers before where if they're not exactly encouraging aggravation, they certainly don't discourage it with some of the things they do. Sometimes I couldn't ever say if a police officer definitely thinks like this, but there's some times where you think they are spoiling for a fight so they can nick someone. It is just a fact.
Now, we've got an ex-police officer listening tonight, Pat Bagley, and you're very welcome to write in and put your points across if you wish. Do that on the chat box. And it'd be very interesting to get a police officer's take on it, because there's always two sides to every story, and we've learnt that very well here on the Tilton Talk show, Christopher Brown, haven't we? Yes. So that's why I say we have to wait for the dust to drop. Now the club have issued a statement, and we'll end this perhaps on this, because I think it's right that the club have issued a statement, and that statement incredibly well worded and very, very strongly worded too. And it reads as follows: Birmingham City Football Club reiterates its zero-tolerance policy on antisocial behaviour by supporters. I fully and totally agree with that. And I'm sure everybody else does in this room. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good radio knob, that whole thing. We note allegations of coin throwing arising from the match at Queen's Park Rangers on Saturday, and we stress that the club will take the strongest possible action in dealing with any individual found to have indulged in such a deplorable act. The club also wishes to express its extreme disappointment that the statements were released to the media during and after the match by Queen's Park Rangers and the Metropolitan Police without consultation with Birmingham City Football Club or the West Midlands Police. A number of issues have since been brought to our attention from Saturday's match in regard to the stewarding and policing that are of concern to the club and our supporters. We read from the Metropolitan Police's statement that 3 men were arrested, one for pitch encroachment of the Queen's Park Rangers supporter who walked around pitch side to confront Birmingham City supporters was, we understand, not arrested. Right. We will be making official representation to Queen's Park Rangers, Metropolitan Police and the West Midlands Police about the issues in order to ascertain the full facts of Saturday's events and gather evidence. As a club, we abhor violence and antisocial behaviour at football matches, and we will cooperate fully with the relevant authorities to ensure that the necessary and just punishments will be meted out to those responsible. Now, that kind of puts a finger pointing certainly at the Metropolitan Police, certainly at the stewards, and certainly at some Birmingham City supporters by the look of it.
Which is a very balanced statement.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't want to go much further because there's still things to be said and things to be found out.
Absolutely. Which is why I say, if you come back in a couple of weeks once the dust settled, and we can thrash this one out a lot better.
What I would say that worries me is the fact that the QPR and the Met were so eager to get these statements out blaming Birmingham City fans. How eager are they going to be to actually now turn around on themselves and say, well, what could we have done better? To me, it looks like they'd picked their culprit before they'd even decided to actually have any.
Well, then, don't you think the Football League should be involved in these inquiries as
well? For me, yeah,
rather than
definitely.
an independent kind of inquiry. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, this was sort of wanted to leave this to my rant.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
There are so many errors on everybody's side, but my biggest issue. If any Blues fan has thrown a coin, and I think it's been proven that they have, there is evidence that coins were thrown.
I think it's coming both ways, as we discussed earlier. Yeah. But the issue with that is, well, no, not one of the issues with it. They were going over the top of a disabled area, which is like, I mean, come on.
That doesn't make any difference to me.
Yeah, but
that doesn't make any difference whether it's disabled fans or kids or anybody or the manager's dugout or whatever.
No, it absolutely shouldn't happen, 100%. But like, I don't know. It's just madness.
But the coin throwing incident so soon after the Brunt.
Is this the rant, by the way?
Yeah,
go into it. Go on.
The so close to the Brunt incident. It's honestly, it's ruined it completely.
Absolutely.
Because I'd have loved to have seen what would have happened if there wasn't any coins thrown. Would anything have come out of it? Would there be any news whatsoever about what the stewards did, what QPR's action were, what the police's actions were? Because that's where the issue is for me. There's a group set up, Football Supporters Federation, and I know they're asking people, Blues fans, to email in for their point of view, because Nat knows me from going away. For up to about 3 or 4 years ago, I used to go home and away, see Nat there every game for about 5 or 6 years. 260 of us at Barnsley, or 4,500 at Wigan in the Premier League, or whatever, wherever. Whether it's football fans are still the biggest scum. Away football fans are still the biggest scum that police have to deal with. That's in the media's eyes. I honestly think, I saw on the Daily Mail page today, the thing the Daily Mail have picked up is the video of the Blues fan punching the QPR fan. There is no backstory to it whatsoever. It is football hooliganism is back. We're back to the 70s and 80s. Football fans fighting on the pitch, etc., etc. Now, I'll name Sheffield. I've been to Sheffield numerous times. It's horrendous up there. You get treated like complete dirt up in Sheffield. Anywhere north of Stoke, and you are dirt. I haven't actually. I
lived just south of Stoke, Christopher. That was rather very well said, that one, mate, wasn't it?
I've only been to QPR once, and there was about 1,000 of us, so it wasn't that much of an issue. Now, I know QPR's ground; it's horrible. It's horrible to be around, and the stand is really rough. Most of the time you're in the top tier, because they don't give away fans the bottom tier. Probably because of the proximity of the ground. It's such a tight, compact ground that it's going to cause problems. But my issue, again, is QPR know. Why have they not allowed alcohol in the concourses?
Crazy.
Why have they done that? They know that 3,228 Blues fans are coming to QPR. They know if they don't serve alcohol.
But we don't know their policy on them. They might do it for other away supporters.
It's not exactly common for what I understand.
If they don't serve alcohol in the concourse, I've been to away matches. I know what happens. If they don't serve alcohol in the concourse, 2,500 Blues fans will wait until 2:45 to go to the game. Out of that 300, so many will wait until the very last minute. If they know there's no alcohol, they're not going to go to the ground until 3:15, which is where the crush comes in. Then it's the stewards' issue, closing the gate. Then it's the police overreacting. I don't want to blame the police totally, because if they don't know why the stewards have closed the gate, then I guess it is a difficult situation for them. But they could have handled it a lot better. And every little thing that's happened to those Blues fans, I've been in these situations. Every little thing that's happened to those Blues fans, they are going into that ground at 3:15, so aggravated. And there is no condoning.
That's part of the problem, isn't it?
There is no condoning coin throwing at all, and I'm not doing it. No. But when you have all of these little steps that aggravate the away fans, because it's what clubs do. The away fans don't matter. Just get them in and get them out.
But should you be aggravated because you haven't had a beer?
No, it's not that.
It's control of the amount of people, isn't it? Like if you're selling alcohol inside, you've got 2,300, 3,200, wasn't it? 3,200.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. 75% of those are going to want a beer. So
yes, they are.
Let's say that's 2,600 of them are going to want a beer. So they're out in the streets, like trying to find a pub, trying to find somewhere to have a bit of social activity.
That's the thing.
And now my son said to me when we played Bolton the other night, right? He says, and he was swearing, so I might ring the bell for. And he said, "Dad," he said, "this is mental." He said, "It's 2000." My son is 30 next week after next, right? He said, "It's 2016." He said, "and I've had to just go and get 2 coffees. I'm 30 years old and I can't even sit and have a beer at the football." And he said, "To be quite honest with you," he says, "I've got 2 red hot coffees in my hand here, and if I had a pint of beer, I could do more damage with them 2 red hot coffees than I could possibly do with a pint of beer."
Well, the one,
and we are still, football supporters are still treated like second-class citizens.
They are.
well, the most ridiculous thing about Saturday as well with regards to the beer is that it wasn't just in the QPR ground. There was only one pub in Shepherd's Bush, which is obviously where QPR's ground is.
Yeah.
There's only one pub in Shepherd's Bush that was allowing Blues fans in.
Well, there's another problem.
Okay, we'll get some reaction off the shout box. Spot on, Chris Pugh. I saw a few Queen's Park Rangers fans who made slit-throat gestures to the Blues fans before the incident happened. Which isn't very clever. Anybody remember the SYP? It was it could have had deja vu Hillsborough, like you say, written all over it again.
The only difference was between the two events is that there was less fans at QPR. Thank the Lord, because if there'd been more, you'd have been in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Capo before the game, I spoke to a steward before the game to see if it was if I was able to place my flag out anywhere. The steward then made me wait for 5 minutes while he left his guard of the pitch, which I was easily able to get to speak to the 3 other stewards. I had to phone the chief and then come over and say no. Well, all in all, it seems like a pretty disastrous way to run security at a football club. We've got to wait for the analysis. We've got to wait for all the reports and everything to come in before we can sort of sit down and go through this again. So I think we'll perhaps leave that now. As we do have a special.
Why I urge any fans who want to email the Football Supporters Federation.
Yeah.
Because any opportunity for away fans to get lambasted, and they will, especially Blues, especially teams like Blues, Cardiff, Millwall.
We've got was it the 3rd best away support in the division?
Yeah, but
we've got a reputation.
And those
we haven't caused issues anywhere else this year.
Not really. No.
3,000 at Derby, no issues whatsoever. Did we see, Chris? Everybody was very nice to us. The police were dancing with me afterwards and having a bit of a laugh.
What idiot! That idiot must have seen what would happen with the Brunt issue and that and thought, let's do this. Let's us replicate.
Look, if you want to throw coins, I'll tell you what. Right, throw the coins into Al Paris Pot. Throw the coins into Birmingham Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
Throw the coins into the Tilton Talk Show appeal, or throw them into my pocket, or Chris Pugh's pocket, or Chris Brown's pocket. You're excluded because you've got enough money now.
Well, Huddersfield.
You're not seeing my address.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right, okay, we've done that for like 20 minutes. So trying to listen for the first time tonight, and my connection is rubbish. South Coast. We get listeners from all around the world. Aamir, did you know that?
We must say hello to Aamir, who's in Serbia. He's here somewhere.
Serbia tonight.
There he goes.
Really impressive.
There we go. Living proof that we're actually live in Serbia right now.
We do have blue noses all over, I must admit.
All over the place.
Well, we do, and we can get a report off the system to find out where we've actually been to and who's listened and or downloaded the podcasts afterwards. Now, we did have a little insight into the station. We did this 4 seasons ago, and we had 4 listeners. 4.
Yeah.
Not bad, eh?
Now we've got 5.
We've got 5 now.
No, but we've got a guest, so we've got 6 now.
There's a 5 of us now.
No, hang on. I've got 2 newbies on there tonight.
Get him.
And last year, show downloads exceeded 90,000.
Yeah.
90,000. So that's just kind of give you a view of the growth, and most of that growth has kind of come. It's kind of gone like that.
Yeah,
hasn't it?
it's
Come in, isn't it?
It's really, yeah. We'll blame it all.
Oh dear. We'll be playing What's in the Box after the first half. It's Chris Pugh's What's in the Box, so try and think outside of it. It's very light.
We've had
some
a few
suggestions on
already.
FaceTube already. Have you seen those?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Is it edible?
No,
it's not edible. Some of these are a little bit controversial. I thought it was tickets for Block 39, but no, it's coins. Nice one, Alistair. A pint to make up for Queen's Park Rangers not selling any alcohol. No. Is it a Queen's Park Rangers fan's front teeth?
No.
This is a good one.
It's not Brock Madsen. He hasn't been in the box all season. London media's reputation. Queen's Park Rangers stewards P45s, and sorry about tonight down in London. See you all next week, says Ray.
Yes.
My son's down in London as well today, so right, okay, we'll knock that on the head down because there's nothing much more that we can do until, like I say, until the police and everybody have done it. Aamir, sorry that you've had to come in on such a controversial Monday, to be perfectly honest with you, but these things just take us by surprise from time to time.
The life of a blue nowadays.
So, Aamir, the Arsenal fan, ladies and gentlemen, we have an Arsenal fan in
Right.
and did you go to the game 5 years ago?
No, I never.
Why?
It's really difficult.
You've seen some really good goals.
It is really difficult. General sale don't exist for Arsenal fans.
Right.
Nor does, especially for cup final.
With every season to get older, you've obviously got an allocation of 30,000.
So you get 30,000 and you've got, I'm guessing, about 45,000 season to get older.
So
you could go to every cup game.
Sometimes it's good to be a smaller club, isn't it, Christopher Pugh?
Well, yeah, because everybody...
No, not really.
No, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I know.
I don't know, because the world and his wife was able to get a ticket in the Blues on that day.
I'll be honest with you. Obviously, as I sport a bigger club, obviously a successful club. If I could change times back, I would.
You would go.
Yeah.
Simply because of the fact, I ain't gonna lie, I'm used to glory days, but obviously while working at the
So are
Blues-
we.
Oh yeah,
Glory day.
you know what I mean.
No, Chris. Leyland Duff. We're going. Auto windscreens.
All the big
See, these names sound great.
Promotion at the Millennium. Thieves robbed us. Liverpool in the other Carling Cup final that we were in. So we've had a little share there, Christopher. I
Yeah.
thought.
With regards to Leyland Duff, we didn't actually win a van.
Is that the one where you beat Tranmere for the transfer? Is that the one where you beat Tranmere in the final? See the knowledge, eh? But seriously, I think what it is, supporting a big club, you don't know what football is until you, like obviously I'm working at Birmingham City and I've been to a few away. I was at Bolton, that epic 2-2 draw. When you see a grown guy cry in front of you, you realise.
Oh mate, I'll do it in here.
Yeah, you see, this is football. You realise this
It
is.
doesn't bother me. I do it openly. Look, I'm joking. You're right. Like, I can sometimes sit down, especially when I've had a beer or two in the evening, or maybe even a gin or three, and I'll get the YouTube on the TV, and I'll Carling Cup 2011, and I'm streaming. I don't care. I absolutely love it that much, and I just sit there. Sharon looks at me.
I'm not gonna lie. I shed a few tears yesterday after that Arsenal performance. It was horrendous.
Like I said, I did see your notes on Facebook. I was desperate to say something, but then that wouldn't have had the same effect tonight. But that's you if you're an Arsenal fan.
I've calmed down.
Just on that Bolton game, I heard a cracking story the other day. I had a guy I know. The guy I know goes to most games. He happened to be in America for the last Bolton game of the season, so he couldn't go. Anyway, he's in a bar and he's getting text through about the game. And obviously, we've gone 2-0 down. We took 10 minutes and he's realising, crikey, O'Reilly, we're going down. Anyway, it comes back to 2-1. And his battery goes.
Oh,
he goes to
no.
2-1. So like he's desperately trying to find a flipping. Like first of all, he's trying to find a charger. So he's going for. I think he was in Boston. So he's going through Boston trying to find a charger. It takes about an hour. Then he's managed to find a charger. Managed to get a plug socket to find it in. And he's waiting. Now he's charging. So it's about an hour after the game's finished. And he was in this bar. And eventually the phone comes on. The phone goes zzz, and he's thinking, "Oh no, someone said it's full time." He goes, "No, 2-2. We're staying up." He starts leaping around the room. Starts leaping around this bar. And someone turns around to the blokes, mate. Bloke mate went out with him, Wolves fan, but he went out with him to the Boston. And this American guy goes, "Why is that guy's jumping around celebrating?" And he goes, "His team just finished 21st in the second division."
That feeling was great though. That was a great feeling, finishing 21st.
I mean, honestly, Birmingham City are the only football team that I know that can celebrate a draw more than Arsenal winning the Champions League.
Yeah. I think I was celebrating more than anything. It was like, I don't know. At that game, I had a Liverpool fan who went with me, who worked in myself in the ticket office, and one of my mates is an Albion fan. Obviously, when he went to general sale, he purchased the ticket, and literally all I could remember was that second goal went in, the equaliser, and we were in the front of the upper tier, and he's literally hanging off the balcony, and I'm trying to hold his leg down while somebody literally all over him, and I'm like, I literally thought he was going down in the lower tier.
I've actually been in Florida, right, in one of the Disney parks, and there was an old English phone box in I think it's Epcot, where you kind of go around the world, and you have to get to the pub in England, don't you, and have some fish and chips, and there's an oldie worldy English, and there was a queue of perhaps 8 or 9 people outside this red phone box, right? And each and every single one of them was phoning home to see how Birmingham City had got on. Every single one in that queue, kind of stuff. Right, okay. So you do all the tickets then, Aamir?
Yes, indeed,
right.
I do.
Okay. So take us through the process of what happens, like from point of allocation of a football match. Let's assume it's away at. Let's go. Where's the next away game? Blackburn. So we'll take Blackburn as an instance because that's obviously fresh in your mind, right? You get your fixture list come through, and then at what point do you look and order tickets?
Myself, I tend to do it 2 months in advance.
So 8 weeks, yeah.
I do it simply because of the fact I know it gives. The earlier I get the tickets on sale, obviously it gives fans the chance to book their tickets earlier as well as book travel, because I do, obviously, as a football fan myself, places like Blackburn, for example, trains, the earlier the book, the cheaper they are. So therefore I look to get it on sale possibly 8 weeks. Obviously I'll inquire about it 8 weeks before. The quicker the tickets come in, the quicker I get them on sale.
Are there any restrictions from the Football League as to when you can start selling the tickets or not?
Not really,
No.
to be fair, but I don't know, obviously, but I think it's 3 or 4 weeks before you obviously should have your tickets by then beforehand. Obviously some clubs, I remember there was times when obviously it's understandable, they had FA Cup games coming up, which I'm pretty sure was at Derby last season, where there was the game could have potentially got moved because
Derby away,
an FA Cup,
because they lost to Reading in the cup, I think.
And possibly
breaks down my life because we got a trip in Derby.
and a great result at the end of it, though. I'm sure, wasn't it the 2-2?
That was the 2-2.
You were supposed to meet me there, weren't you? You were coming down to Utox for a drink that day, and you didn't.
That was Derby. Was that Derby away this season or last season?
No, this season we had executive coach to Derby this season, didn't we, Mr. Bryan?
Yes, and a big Tilton Talk group going
On the Tilton tour bus.
But there was
I'm going to say that 2-2 at Derby, I was in no state to raise anyone that day.
Probably right.
It was quite the session.
So that's 8 weeks before then you put your order in, yeah.
So
and
I'll contact Blackburn 8 weeks prior to the fixture.
Now let's assume sales have gone really well, and is it you that asks for that allocation?
Yes, it is myself.
So how do you judge that? How do you?
Basically,
Obviously, right. You've got a football ground which has a finite amount of seats in it. So let's say you've got 3,000 to play with. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, what 3,000 tickets to play with. Right. I'll give you an example now for Blackburn. I'm pretty sure they've sent us 1,800 tickets now.
Right.
We can get more tickets, but obviously a club always sends you an initial allocation most of the time, simply because of the fact there's no guarantee you will always sell that allocation out.
Right.
Blackburn's on a Tuesday night. Now, I know our away sport has been great, been fantastic, but on a Tuesday night, going up to Blackburn, Blackburn,
not a nice place,
it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Although I'm pretty sure Nat will be there because
will be. Blackburn's actually one of my favourite away games.
Is it?
If you go to the right places, there's some decent little places.
It's quite a hill, isn't it, to get to the stadium? Well, certainly from where I park.
It's very much Coronation Street.
Yeah, it's one of these old worldy timey places. But what I like about Blackburn as well is that you never get any trouble whatsoever. You've got the old town to yourself basically.
Yeah.
Because there's no Blackburn.
I'll tell you the trouble I get with games like Blackburn, and I'm pretty sure Nat will agree to this now as well. Just saying now, obviously it's a Tuesday night. Nat will contact me on the Tuesday at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I forgot to collect my tickets from the Blue Superstore. Can you send my ticket up to Blackburn for me to collect?
I've done that once.
And then I'm like, thanks a lot, Nat. Just giving me some
the issue
additional
you've got now is that we all know you to be perfect.
Literally. I'm pretty sure he's done it a few times now. And I'll shut up. You got your Blackburn ticket yet, Nat?
I ain't got it yet, no. I'll collect it on I'll get it on Thursday.
Yeah.
They'll
They'll probably book it and he won't collect it, and they'll say, Mayor, can you send it up to Blackburn?
Okay, so back to this allocation of 3,000. So you book, say, the first, let's say you book 1,500 of that, right? So you've made a phone call to them?
Yep, I'll send them an email, or I'll see if I can get through to them on the phone. Obviously, depending on, for example, now we've got Hull, obviously at home. Obviously, getting in touch with them can be a bit difficult, simply because of the fact they've got Arsenal in the cup. They're going to be really busy, which is understandable. So, obviously, I'll tend to email them. They'll get back to me and tell me the allocation we can have. I'll take the initial allocation. Obviously, it'll arrive depending on when they can send them out. Once the prices are agreed, this is from themselves. They'll be with us a week later. So, we'll get them set up on the system. It takes a few days. And then once we get them on sale, obviously we have them in priority order. Platinum, gold, silver, club class, obviously season ticket holders, then general sale. What I tend to do is I'll wait until we have 500 tickets left.
Right.
and then I'll inquire. So I'd say 500, 600 tickets, because the last thing I really want is to be stuck with no tickets and people are trying to ring up. We had that with QPR.
With a potential further allocation.
We had that with QPR, and that's when we had to do a waiting list, which was the fairest way. If you ring up first, or if you email in and you're on that waiting list, we will be fair with everyone. Because I think it's unfair if someone's been ringing up the moment we sell out, but then somebody who possibly never been to an away game, and they've just called up on the day the allocation comes, but that one person who was trying on the day everyone's trying to purchase misses out, so I feel that's the fairest way.
So you keep a record of your phone logs in?
So
cool.
What we do, we'll do a waiting list, we'll create like a spreadsheet,
right.
We'll put down the name of the person, and we'll have a list of everybody on the waiting list.
Does that auto-fill when the phone comes in?
We'll
probably do it manually.
We'll type it manually, but from our end, we know it's accurate, and we know that we're being fair with everyone. So it's not like somebody's ringing up 7, it's going to get the phone call first. If you're 7, you will be the 7th one to get called.
Right.
So, they were saying...
so how long do they take to come? Say you ordered some on a Monday.
It depends really. It's all up to the club. Sometimes the QPR in all fairness were great. They got them sent across straight away. Right. Obviously some clubs like Wolverhampton, they sent their allocation out really fast. Obviously at the same time it depends what the club is doing. Like for example, if there's you inquiry on the Monday, but the club got a game on Tuesday, they've got a match day. It's understandable. You expect them to send you on on Wednesday, which is totally understandable. So that's the situation. For say 500, 600 tickets remaining.
So sales will come in through telephone, through the internet, right?
Bookshop, Superstore.
So let's assume then you've got your 1,500 seats allocated.
Yep.
Do you start say from left to right and then fill up, or is it random, or
it's front to back, isn't
it?
Is it front to back?
It depends really on the actual club. Obviously the away club, the home club, should I say in this instance, obviously the away club. It all depends on how they, obviously which order they want us to sell. We tend to go back to front. However, we would obviously at the same time you'll have fans who have got some disabilities who prefer the front seat, so which is totally understandable. We'll always keep an allocation separate towards the front, but we would tend to go back to front. However, obviously if somebody did request for the front, and depending if we can go into that area where we start from, that's no problem then. So we will make the exception.
The one thing I was going to ask you, separate, like one-off sort of, when we played Villa, what was the process behind how they gave us the allocation? Because we got a lot less than we potentially could have done. I know it's not you guys' fault. What was the actual process they went through, the Villa, you lot and the police?
In all fairness, with the Villa game, we obviously requested for our tickets. We were entitled to
6,000 generally, isn't it? If you want them. If you were any other club, we could have got 6,000.
We were given 2,000, I think was that 800, 2,600 something like that. I'm not sure the full reasoning behind it, but obviously it was what we were given, and in all fairness, the club did push to get a bigger allocation. Whatever the final decision was, obviously, we can only stick with what we've got, in all fairness.
All right, so going back through that system, then you've obviously got your count of tickets, you've got your 1,500 there, and you see the sales, and if you see sales whipping up and going well, what do you do then? You go back and ask for potentially ask for a further allocation?
Yeah, I'll ask for what we can get. I'll give you a perfect example.
Do you have to pay for them when all?
It depends really. A club, obviously, when you get an allocation, you can pay for it up front, or some clubs it's like what you don't sell, you just give back.
Right.
Which always tends to be the case. So I'll be given 3,000 tickets, for example, and obviously the 66 that haven't been sold, for example, they'll be sent back, which obviously the away club checks, and that balances, and we send them final figures of how much we've sold.
Quite a lot involved in it. You don't think, when you just buy a ticket, you think, it's just a ticket. You know what I mean?
To give you an example, working in the ticket office myself, before I worked in there, I never knew how much there was behind it. Like, for example, disability tickets. We offer a free care to disabled supporters, which I wasn't aware of until I started working at the club. I wasn't aware of
the club does it, do they?
Do they?
I think they have to. However, with ourselves, we've got some very good, obviously, discounted rate tickets for wheelchair users, and we do offer ambulant disabled supporters who do not require a wheelchair, but obviously they still got disability, a discounted rate. Obviously, not every club offers that rate, however, with ourselves we do. Also, it's like there's a lot of laws you have to follow in regards to ticketing. Obviously, you've got to make sure you can't charge a wheelchair user any less than the cheapest seat in the ground or any more. So basically, if a ticket in the paddocks is £219. Obviously, that's the cheapest. You've got to ensure... Oh, sorry, £230. So you're not confused with a wheelchair price. You've got to ensure you can't charge a wheelchair user. Obviously, in that area, the same. Obviously, anything above that.
Right, yeah.
So, but obviously, I wouldn't be aware of this until, obviously, I started working at the club. As well as that, there's a lot of admin work behind it, setting tickets up on the system. It looks all simple, basically just getting tickets and putting them up, but obviously there's a lot more to it, counting tickets.
So you receive your 1,500 tickets, right?
Yep.
Are they entered into a computer system?
We get them, obviously, because we use Ticketmaster, who are, in all fairness, they're really good at setting everything up on the system.
Right, okay.
But we have to set it up first, and we have to count every ticket.
They've never had a good name, have they?
They're not so good on the phones.
No. That's right.
To be fair, when you ring up the Blues now, you hardly ever get through to them. But I remember the days when you used to ring them up, and I remember the one we played Shrewsbury in a friendly. You had to buy a ticket before getting there, and I rang them up, and they said, "Right, do you want standing or sitting?" And I was like, "The last time I went to Shrewsbury, it was all seats. So what have you done? What have they done with them all?" And I was like, No, there's two separate allocations here. And I was like, all right, give me a standing one. Oh, it says I can't get you a standing one. I was like, that's right, because there's loads of seats now. And just spent 5 minutes explaining that.
See, in all fairness to Ticketmaster, they're given, in all fairness to them, they are given an allocation from us. However, how you just said standing and seating.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, we have had issues like that in the past. However, we have brought you up with them. They've got a new manager in place who, in all fairness, everything has been fine with them. We've not had any complaints from ourselves. We work closely with them. We make sure the information is provided correctly.
To be fair, I've not been through to Ticketmaster for ages. If you ring up, if you ring the club, it's absolutely fine. Everyone knows what they're doing. But if you ring Ticketmaster, it was always part luck. You were like, I'm in an hour.
So that's pretty much then covered the away tickets, yeah? So you can ring up for a further allocation, Right, okay, let's take home tickets. Right, okay, so we've got a match coming up on Thursday. And reduced ticket price £10. Everybody get down there, please. I should be making
highly recommend it.
Are you going on Thursday, Mr. Brown?
I did a show on Thursday.
Oh, here we go, excuses.
We rehearsed it for my TV show.
I'm not being funny, but on Thursday, does a bear poke?
All I can do is ask the question.
Yeah, of course.
And Mr. Pugh, I'm sure you'll be there on Thursday as well.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
You sound happy about it.
I'm delighted about it.
Don't forget me, I'll be there.
I know you'll be there, mate.
Always ready.
So right, actually, we've got a game on Thursday then. I dare say that you've got your stadium map and you can see what the tickets are going. Obviously, there's the top of the let's call it the railway stand, Gilmerrick. That's instantly off.
What are you trying to say, Nick?
What I'm trying to get to is right. Okay, on a Blues match day, you know that you've got your season tickets.
Yes.
Right. So does the computer system then completely understand where each of those sales are, so that you don't?
I see what you're trying to say, like double booking season.
Yeah.
Basically, what happens is all the season we have like a map. Obviously, how you said, where you got Tilton, the Cop, Gilmerrick, main stand, the paddocks, all parts of the ground. Season ticket seats already sold on the system, where we'll have obviously a game plan where a seat will automatically be sold. Anyway.
So if I look on there now... Right.
Yeah, so when you go online now, and for example, when you're having a look at Block 11, for instance, very popular block, very rare to get a seat. Block 9 then... Obviously, I'm saying Block 9 because I know it's really difficult to get a single seat in there. I actually had Rachel Seaman. She was inquiring about.
We know Rachel. Rachel is Tilton Tour bus tour operator.
Yes. She inquired about 2 tickets today in Block 11, and I was like, before even looking at the system, I just knew I wasn't going to get 2 tickets together.
Yeah.
Simply because of the fact the block is sold. To be fair, the upper Tilton, in all fairness, is always really hard to get.
The only place you get really is on the side where it's bad view.
So then, I turn up to the Blues. I print my tickets at home at all times, right? Because I live in Uttoxeter, which is like a considerable distance to come and pick a ticket up to go back. So I print my tickets at home, which I think is an absolutely brilliant facility, wonderful facility. And I turn up with my A4 piece of paper. I turn colour off, by the way, to save money on my printing.
Yep.
And I turn up with my ticket, and so the barcode scanner system that you use then understands that that's been a valid ticket that's been sold and is allocated to a specific seat.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So then, what about pay on the gate?
With that, tickets are printed separate.
Right.
So most of the time you'll get a lot of fans obviously tend to ring us asking, can we get a seat in this block? However, we printed that block off for, obviously the Tilton, for example, very popular.
Yep.
As well as the Cop. Obviously when fans come on the day of the game, they tend to go sit there. So that's why we have a cash turnstile there. Tickets are pre-printed. We're aware of what seats they are, what blocks they are, and
you block them off on the system, do you?
Yeah, they're blocked off, so you can't get anybody. So on the system is quite great, to be fair, because of the fact it's quite simple. When you have a look at it, you know what's sold, you know what's been printed.
Yeah.
It's, for example, if like Nat's got his season ticket seat now,
Yeah.
unless Nat rings us up and asks us to cancel the seat, that seat will always be locked in the Nat.
Right.
So everything is structured. It's very rare we do get problems of a double booking. Possibly you could get, obviously, as we all know, no system
Nothing's
is perfect.
No,
but
no,
you
we
do
know
obviously,
that
like,
well.
on the odd occasion, however, we are notified of it, so we look to fix the problem before it escalates.
And how do you get that? You get the system flashing?
Oh, we get Ticketmaster to contact us.
Oh, right.
And so saying that, you hear bad mouthing them, they actually, so if your seat ever got cancelled, we've known beforehand, and they'll actually make us aware that, you know, this seat here isn't showing up on the game mode. Straight away what we tend to do is, firstly, we reserve that seat so nobody buys it. Secondly, we try to get hold of the person, which 99% of the time you get hold of them, unless you got the odd person who's got the wrong number on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but we'll tend to get resolved as soon as possible, to be fair. Possible.
Might be having a few issues with the shout box tonight. I don't know whether it's working properly or not.
Oh, no, it's working.
So bear with us on
Busy.
that one. Bear with us on that one. Right. Next one then. Cup games.
Oh, the great cup game.
You like cup games?
Gillingham at home, eh?
Brilliant.
Bristol City at home.
Yeah.
The old town away last season.
The Bristol Rovers, it was Bristol.
Oh, you loved that, didn't you?
Oh,
gosh.
So does exactly the same happen there?
Yeah,
so
it's
you
exactly
have to,
the same.
So you have to. Do you load the extra game into the system? Or?
Yeah. What happens is Ticketmaster sets it up on the system for us.
Right. And
from our part, what we do is just say, for example, we've got a cup game now against West Bromwich Albion. A perfect example, like we did have last season. What we have to do is we have to ensure all season ticket holder seats are reserved on the system, and it's something they can trigger off for, like exactly how they do it for the season ticket mode.
Yep.
They have to, but instead of having them sold, they be reserved.
Right. Okay.
So.
And at what stage then would you unreserve them to sell them to the general?
I had to do this for the fixture against. I'm pretty sure
this is not like me, is it, to come up with an intelligent question?
I'm trying to see we had it. I'm trying to give we had in the FA Cup. I'm sure we had a home tie, didn't we, this time? Bournemouth. Got the great knowledge. Obviously, from my point, I have to make a decision now when I'll take the seats off reservation.
Right.
Now,
and is that just a simple click?
Yeah, it's just something Ticketmaster will do. Obviously, that's one of their jobs to ensure everything comes off at the right time, everything's set up on the right time. But what tends to happen is, obviously, for the Bournemouth game, because we only had the two stands open, the Cup and the Tilton, what we had to ensure was, just in case if it was really popular, that fixture, I have to give a right amount of time. First, it's season ticket holders, because I want to give them enough time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to think, I don't want to give it too long, where it comes to a point where I've got no seats to sell, but I know there's so many seats on reserve. So we have to balance it. Although we do give the season ticket holders, I'm pretty sure a week and a half to purchase their ticket.
In fairness, you know that Bournemouth at home, even though it's a Premier League side, I didn't ever think it was going to see.
Well, no, but I think it's nice to get an insight of what you guys have to do in that ticket office.
What tends to happen is, especially for
I think the last time I turned up at the ticket office was when my son queued up for the Carling Cup final tickets. 14 hours he was in that queue for.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I've heard some stories about that, about the queues.
With a jacket on like this, 14 hours, and you know something? It was still the best 14 hours of his life.
Well, if I was working in 14 hours, wow.
The one thing I was going to ask you mentioned the Gillingham game. That was a bit daft for me. I mean, why did we only open one stand that night? Because it made no sense. We only had about 6,000 in the ground. Or about 6,000-7,000 Blues fans in the ground, yet you were struggling to get people in.
It's a bit of an awkward one, obviously, because you've got to look at it from all parts and not just you've got to look at it from the safety point, staffing wise. For example, if you know you're not going to get a big crowd, but you've got so much staffing, you've got to remember you're still paying them staff members.
Absolutely,
I think it costs more money to open up more areas.
As you can see from the Gillingham game, as you've seen, obviously in the end we did open up the Tilton, but it wasn't even fully full, if you know what I mean.
No,
so the problem is if you open the whole stand, you've got to make sure, because I know the laws and regulations obviously are in place, you've got to make sure you've got enough to staff the whole of the Tilton. And the only problem we have is, if it isn't going to be full, but you've got all these extra staff, the club are paying them money. Obviously, from our point, it isn't worth it, but obviously we'd love for him to all come. It'd be great, but obviously I understand it's not the most attractive game. But from our point, we love any game, to be honest with you.
Several people on the chat box asking about tickets for Block 39. Now, we as a station, and bearing in mind there was a club statement, drew a line under Block 39 last week, and that's exactly as I'm going to leave it.
We've said everything that we say.
I'm not interested in it. It's gone. Done. Finished. Okay.
Firstly, I'll be honest with you. When we played against... Now, this is the first time I actually got to hear the atmosphere at Nottingham. Did we play Nottingham Forest, was it?
September. We lost 1-0.
Oh, no, this was the one 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I'm pretty sure. It was in December. It was £10 a ticket.
Draw 0-0.
That was the one.
The 0-0 game.
Yeah, I remember. That was quite a good game, that night.
Yeah.
Quite a good game.
To be fair,
You remember it?
Yeah, I remember the game pretty well.
in my eyes, as a football fan, doesn't matter where you sit. If you're gonna sing, you're all gonna sing. You're all obviously fans here, and from my point, to be fair, you could sit in block 11, you could sit in block 5, you could sit in the paddocks. The atmosphere, it's just everyone singing at the right time.
Yep. And of course, like we said, I think it was last week before, it's self-generating. Once you get a stadium full, you get more buzz, you get this and the other.
Exactly.
It's just getting that stadium.
We've ignored half-time this week. We've never done that before, have we, Christopher? We've never just gone sailing straight through. You're the very first to me that's created a non-half-time situation on the phone.
Fantastic. I'll take it as a good thing.
Well, we will be sending you the invoice for the additional time, to be fair.
Oh, gosh.
Right, okay.
SRBRadio.com.
We're going to go on to a few other things, and we'll perhaps come back to a little bit of the
Might want to just
yes, thanks, Pat, Pat Bagley, for your comment there. I'm now retired from the police, however, I can promise that all the police really are trying their best in difficult circumstances, and I'm sure 99.9% of the time they are. And that's why we've had to sort of take a step backwards and say we have to wait for the investigations to take place thoroughly and fairly before we can really make much more comment. I think that's the only fair and right way to do it. What's in the box? We've got a box in the studio tonight. We've already not wasted. We've already gone through nearly an hour. But what's in the box? Is it edible? Has been asked. The answer to that was
no.
Ooh, right. Okay, so we know that it's not edible. What's in the box? We've got just under 35 minutes actually to find out what's in the box.
We can have some questions.
We can all ask what's in the box. You can ask a question. What it is, Aamir, we put one of us puts something in a box, and an animal object in a box once a week. And then, just by sheer powers of deduction, we try and find out what it is.
I'm hoping it's nothing to do with Arsenal and the
Is it anything to do with Arsenal?
Yes.
How did I know that? How did I know that?
Straight
I just thought to myself, I've been getting so much stick for Arsenal.
One of the best radio moments ever.
Somebody's already sent it to DVD.
I'm going to guess it. I'm going to guess it.
It's going to be a programme.
It's Marcus Rashford. He's great in the box, isn't he?
Aamir,
I told you I like fishing. I don't like football no more. I'm not a fan of football. I'm a fishing fan.
I was asking you if you're coming on the away day. I think that's probably the Huddersfield. The next Tilton Tour.
At this moment,
Tilton Talk tour.
Because I just tend to pick my away games that I like
Would
to
you
go
pick that
to.
one?
At this moment, Huddersfield, I'm not sure. Wolverhampton's a yes.
Yeah.
There's a definite.
Okay.
Obviously, I used to go to Wolverhampton University, so I've got a few mates who are Wolves fans, so it'll be good to meet them after the game.
That's quite clever then. Been at university.
Oh, thanks.
It's quite clever then. University.
What did you think I was?
Makes three of us. Good ones, eh?
Huddersfield, possibly. I know they've got a big away end.
What are you studying at university?
Oh, I did study IT.
IT?
Yep.
So you did know what OMG stood for?
Yeah. I didn't know the other meaning now, eh?
What's the capacity of Huddersfield?
Pretty sure it's
45,000, but they get about 5,000.
The away end is quite big, to be fair. 45,000.
Alistair Smith says, is it a DVD of the Arsenal Cup final? No is the answer to that. And Chris Brown, is it a marriage proposal from me to D? Oh, sorry, Carl Evans. No, your name's underneath that, and I misread it.
Oh, right, okay.
Chris Brown, is it a marriage proposal from me to D? Alistair Smith says, is it the Arsenal versus Blues a programme?
No.
From the day. There you go.
Is it something that's always been lying about in your car?
I picked the wrong date to come today.
SKC, SKC, what's in the box? Is it football related? Yes, we found out that it's something to do with Arsenal Football Club. South Coast it's going mad now. Obafemi Martin's picture from the Carling Cup final? No. Okay, there you go. So it's definitely, is it something to do with that Cup final day?
Yes.
There we are. So
newspaper.
We now know it's something to do with the 5-year anniversary of Birmingham City beating Arsenal in the Carling Cup final.
I think this Carl Evans has got to come in on the show one of the days.
One of these days, we'll drag
Carl.
him in.
Come on, Carl.
Right, ladies, Chris, what you got for us this week?
Yeah, the FA Cup last 16 draw was made today, and they did. The draw was held at a primary school up in Doncaster with one of Doncaster's new signings because they've been recently promoted.
Why primary school?
Was there a reason?
No, just taking the cup around the country. I think trying to get people, young girls involved and interested. And they did a draft draw before the actual draw, and there was somebody there.
What, a practice stuff?
Yeah, like a practice run. Yeah. On the practice run, Blues drew Manchester City at home, which would have been a horror.
Why do they do a
and I thought,
just to make sure it works?
Just to make sure they've got all the balls ready.
Pretty sure they do with the men's game as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They have to just to make sure they've
Yeah.
What, they just hang on.
Practice run.
No, you can't count 92 balls.
Well, look what happened in the Scottish.
Well, there's only 16.
Well, no, but you know what I mean.
That's
All
right.
yeah.
Nick, you know what happened in the Scottish Cup draw the other week?
But that's
The
Scotland.
ball burst.
Yeah, that's it, mate. I didn't see it.
The ball actually burst. Let's do it again.
Okay, back to the ladies.
It's not
Sorry,
a proper
dude.
game up there, though, is it?
So anyway, we drew Man City at home, which would have been a horror tie. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, oh, thank goodness for that. I really hope that doesn't come through in the main draw. So then the main draw comes through, and we've drawn Arsenal ladies at home. So it's gone from bad
It
to
just
worse.
had to be Arsenal. It just had to be.
There's no limit.
We lost to them in the quarterfinals.
It's a
last
cup
year as well.
game. Anything can happen.
But last season, the first FA Cup game that we were drawn into, we had Liverpool at home, and Liverpool had just won the league then, and we beat them. So hopefully we can catch them cold and get off to a quick start and get through to the quarterfinals, because obviously it's a competition we won. Where are we now? 4 years ago. So it'd be nice to have a nice run in that again. There are 4 representatives in the England under 23 squad have gone out to, I think it's La Manga, for an international tournament.
Places to go in the world.
And 4 of our young players have been called up for that. Aoife Mannion, Melissa Lawley, who was last year's player of the season, Megan Sargent and Kirsty Linnett have all been called up for that. So good luck to them out there. I think the cup game is in a couple of weeks, I think, but the details will be put out at a later date by the club. So
We've had no more new comings and goings then. No.
no incomings. No worries about some outgoings, but I think my worries about the outgoings will be resolved on next Monday. Actually, isn't it the launch for the new kit, the new sponsor, the new captain? So when I know who the captain is, my fears will be either realised or diminished.
What are you hoping to be? Who are you hoping is the new captain?
I hope the new captain is Jade Moore.
Right.
But that is assuming that Jade Moore is still a Blues ladies player at the start of the season. If she isn't,
sometimes he knows more.
If she isn't, I'd like it to
the
be
voice of all reason strikes again.
either Aoife Mannion or Keris Harrop.
Right.
But I'm praying it's Jade Moore. If it's not Jade Moore, I'm ever so slightly concerned.
Half an hour to go to find out what's in the box. There you go. You have your ladies' update on the Tilton Talk show, sponsored by the ELO Group. We're not even going to bother doing a half time this week. No, we're just going to sail through it.
What do you need a half time for?
Well, because we like a little, refreshment at half time.
Yeah.
And if
We like to go and get another beer, but
if we need to discuss an issue that's gone on, say, on the chat box or something like
it's
that, then we
understandable.
can go off air for a moment or two.
Yeah.
We're holding back no secrets from you this week, Aamir. Right, okay. We've done the Queen's Park Rangers events. The Queen's Park Rangers game. 2 awful defensive mistakes cost us that one.
SRBRadio.com.
Oh, do you want me to go?
Just chuck your pennies with him.
The first one, Shotton's dallied on it, and the guy who scored has had probably been allowed too much space in the box to take a number of touches and turn and put it in the corner. The second one, I think their striker's been clever. I feel for Morrison because he can't do anything else. He can't just let him walk through. He's got to go after him, and the striker's got there before him and he's put his body in the way. and he's bought the foul at the end of the day. So I'm a bit reluctant to have a go at Morrison for that. But again, with Blues, I say it so often, the first goal in a game is so important with Blues, and when we go behind, we're chasing the game, and unfortunately to concede so soon afterwards as well, it sort of
I'd love to see how many points we've won this season when we've gone a goal down in the game, because I bet it's very few.
Very few, yeah.
I mean, the thing, on Saturday, for both goals really, Ryan shot and played like he had the brains of a rocking horse. He's. Caddis has his faults every now and then, but I don't see why he's playing shot ahead of Caddis. I'll be brutally honest. I don't see what Caddis brings, what Caddis can't do that Shotton can.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit. It seems a bit puzzling to me. But then again, I wouldn't have dropped John Terrell either. I know he spent a lot of money on Fabrini, but John Terrell's had a very, very good season, and he's a different. He's different class.
Myself, I can't really comment on the game because I've never watched it.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I sat here and said we were poor. It was one of them. I just didn't watch it at all.
I see you use the word we.
See, it's a strange one, but when you work at a club, you do feel a part of the club.
Oh,
you are a part of the club.
Lovely. Could take them home, couldn't you? Chris? You
I
could
do,
take that home.
You must get a pay rise if you go.
I hope so. Not been told, but I hope so. But
Right.
in all fairness, from what I've seen, I've seen a few of the highlights and I've read a few the paper. I just have to. It's one of them, to be fair. Sometimes you have your good days, sometimes you have your bad days. And unfortunately, it's a bad day. But if you look at the table, we're not that far behind of the playoffs.
Can I just encourage people on social media to calm down a little bit after we lose a game? Calm down a little. We don't need so much negativity. We are Birmingham City Football Club. We haven't got a pot to piddle in. We will lose games.
That's what
We will
passion
win
does,
games. We will draw
That
games.
happened in the ground as well.
But stop knocking
there was-
people on social media, and let's get together and get stuck in.
I was going to say, I was at the game on Saturday, and I remember people
my
people
God, Chris, what are you
racing
laughing
into
at?
Shotton.
Sorry.
Now, I don't think Shotton was very good on Saturday. I don't think he's as good a player as Caddis is. But at the same time, he's one of our own, isn't he? You don't stand there just shouting abuse at him. You know what I mean?
No.
Especially when we are punching way above our weight.
Yeah, well, not so much yours, to be perfectly
I do
honest.
feel though, this is on the football. I do feel like the football fan though. This is a lot of people forget it's a game of 90 minutes.
It is,
And,
and anything can happen in that 90
yeah.
minutes. It's the look
Proved
of
at
the
Bolton.
balls, look of the bounce sometimes. Exactly.
And the Carling Cup
Exactly.
final.
Right, okay, some
I didn't enjoy saying that, but yeah.
some reaction coming in on the shout box. I thought Caddis' last appearance was his best game for us this season. He had Aidan McGreedy in his back pocket so much that the gaffer changed his sides. Spot on about the Caddis Shotton scenario. Didn't understand the signing at the time. That's
Well, I think the
South
signing
Coast.
I think the signing was going to be that you'd actually come in place of Robbo, I thought, at the time, and then he's suddenly
Well,
right back.
I thought he'd put him in at left back. Shotton can play left back, obviously, but he is right-footed, so ideally he wants to play right or left back. But I thought, as he can play anywhere across the back, I thought it'd be competition for grounds. I didn't think he'd come straight in and take Caddis' place. But
Capo says Ryan Shotton was a waste of the 11th man on Saturday. Caddis is the better player. And going back to the ladies, J.K. Cornwall, sorry Chris Efer, it is, I reckon. What's in the box? Is it an Arsenal runner-up medal?
No. Have I got one of them on my hands?
I think it's more of a personal little dig at me.
Is it the shirt you wore at Wembley?
Is it?
The shirt you wore at Wembley?
No.
Oh! I never get
Right,
one.
okay. Some more questions coming here. Then,
Yeah.
is it a piece of steak for the Queen's Park Rangers fans' eye? No.
No.
Is it your ticket for the day?
Yes.
Aaron Gellers sorts it again.
You can send him along.
Can we give Aaron the clap, please?
Well done, Aaron.
Top bloke had a umbrella.
Now there are two cup final tickets for the day.
I was about to guess that as well.
Could I ask you to hold them, Amir? Could Chris Brown please take
I
a
haven't got it
photograph
to
of
me.
you? You're a ticket, mate.
Go on, you can show me.
You're a man of tickets.
I must admit the size of these tickets are amazing.
They
When
are,
you look at our tickets.
So do you remember the Blythe Spartans tickets?
Oh,
you couldn't
gosh,
get
they're quality.
you couldn't get them. You had to carry them with two hands. It was not that big.
Yeah, this is the guy
I'll tell you what, it was a nightmare ripping them because they were from a raffle book and it was just making sure you do them correctly.
You can tell they don't do
You want a
tickets very often.
I've done one, I've done it. Cheers.
Oh,
So well done, Aaron Gellers. Yes, with 25 minutes to go. That
I was
lasted
about-
not so long today, Chris. And
I
it's
was
my
about to-
turn.
I was
as
about
well.
to- I was about to guess that.
You were about to guess.
I was about to guess that.
I knew what it was, I just didn't want to say.
Right, okay. Some of the other questions then that came in. Is it a joke book for Alistair? Is it a clean night and diet plan for Carl Evans? It's got something to do with Carling Cup Day. Keep up on based on, I guess, on the fact that Aamir is in the studio.
Yeah, it was spot on.
A pair of shoes. Is it a shoebox? A season ticket for Small Heath Alliance. Purcell to make sure Carol keeps the new coat clean and help the staff.
Oh, there's some inside jokes going on.
Brilliant. Well done, Aaron. Spot on.
And those are the ones we could answer.
Yeah, there were some in there that we couldn't read out, as there always is every single week.
Every single week, yeah.
What do you think of the show so far, Aamir?
I think it's great.
Marvellous. Well done. Report that back to the club when you get
No,
there.
it's great. It's well organised. Everyone's got a good view, to be fair.
And we've all got senses of humour as well.
Yeah.
So, are you a married man?
No, I'm not.
No married? No lady in tow?
Yes. There's a lady.
Did she?
I shouldn't be saying this on here, but yeah.
Is it leap year today? Did she? Have you seen her today?
Oh no, I've been at work all day today.
That's why you're keeping away.
It's been a busy Monday morning for me.
It's leap year today. That's why he's keeping away. He's a sneak, this one, isn't he? Eh?
I would be wrong if I never come here, right? So yeah, I've got the permission to get here.
Capo says I said it too.
Well, we never saw it.
But we never saw it. That's only a minute ago. It says a minute ago.
Capo always thinks this
you can't go around pinching.
He does, yeah.
Aaron's
Pinching songs,
exactly.
and everything, don't he? Flags.
He's written it in capital letters
I know,
as well.
yeah.
What I must say is Capo, well done for your Thursday night show.
Yes, I listened.
Tremendous. I listened on Thursday night.
Yeah.
What an excellent roundup of the Midlands football scene. Do listen in if you're about. That's Thursday night at.
It's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock with Capo and his boys on Channel
Sean
K.
and Pat.
We got into poetry. I don't know how we got into poetry on Thursday night, but you know,
it's a great football chat. Now they get into poetry.
Some of them were pretty.
I have this ability to be able to write poems very quickly, but they usually end up.
I wouldn't call it an ability.
Oh, thank you. All the best. I like coming here too. So you're not a married man then? No children? No plans to have a big day?
Going forward, hopefully, yeah.
Married to the blues.
I'll get married to the blues. Don't worry, you'll see me there. Keep her on in the background. I wish I did.
Do you know, as an Arsenal fan, do you know all the words to Keep Right On to the End of the Road?
I don't know all of them, but I've heard it plenty of time now to kind of get the most of it in. It's a great chant, I must admit, especially when it's sung, obviously, full pelt. It is.
It's RBRadio.com. Can I ask you another question? Do you know when you see the words to that song? Right, you can't read it. You have to sing it, don't you? Is that
right?
The case with you?
I'll tell you a story about that. When I first joined the Blues, I was originally in the club shop.
Yeah.
And obviously for my lunch one day, I just went into the ground.
That's where I've seen you before, in the club shop.
Fantastic. You see me everywhere, eh?
Do you know when a face rings a bell, shall we say?
Some of the good times I had there. But yeah, they were saying, obviously back then, I wasn't really keen on Birmingham City simply because of the fact you've beaten us in the FA Cup. FA Cup, Carling Cup. I wasn't really keen on Birmingham City, especially because of the fact you've beaten us in the Carling Cup. The Eduardo incident. I had a lot of, you can imagine, there was a lot of stuff going on.
I was at home when I saw that break on.
I'll tell you what,
horrible.
That Eduardo incident was one of the bizarre things I was in on a football pitch, because I remember it was such, because I was in the railway, so it was quite far away from the Tilton end of the ground. But it was such an innocuous looking tackle. He didn't look anything. You
just have to have your leg in that wrong angle.
He got sent off straight away, and everyone was going berserk. Why on earth he got sent off? And then you realise he'd been on the floor for 12 minutes. You thought, oh, someone's gone seriously wrong here.
Yeah. No, horrible break.
But yeah, they were saying, and then obviously I was in the. Like I said before, I actually worked at Birmingham City for my part. It was just a club in Birmingham. Obviously, you see the odd violence on telly, which obviously that was my instant reaction. Until I've started working at the club, I've realised ignore what you see on the telly. Yeah. You realise and you meet real fans and you meet people, because we've got some lovely fans here, and I'm going to be honest with you. And I must admit, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm happy to come here, obviously, because we've got some lovely people, and simply because of the fact,
up there as well.
you're gonna have Peter, although he's going to contact me on the day of the Blackburn game. But yeah, they were saying.
Can you contact the show if he does? We'll report him on.
Yeah, I'll show you. I will. I'll tag him. But it's like obviously working at the club changed my opinion on the club, which I do feel like though people look at it from the outside until you're not inside it.
Of course,
you'll never know. But yeah, I still remember I was having my lunch. I was sitting in the cup corner, Tilton Cup corner. This was block 19, and on the Gilmerick, you had like it just said keep right on. Obviously, in my head, remember I don't know nothing about this. I'm like, must be some sponsorship deal or something they've got. You know, I'm literally some sponsorship deal, and I'm like, yeah, keep right on. Like, it's really strange. Then some fans started to get KRO on the back of their shirts.
Yeah.
In my head, and I've seen a number of fans do it, and then this one fan I got chatting to, I'm like, you must be the Crow family, ain't you? Thinking to myself, literally, honestly, I literally did not know. I'm like, KRO, you must be the Crow family. I'm like, you've got a big family you guys have. Like, he's like, yeah, and he's agreeing with me, and I'm like, wow, you got a big family you guys have, you know, this Crow family, KRO, like, gotta look up you guys, you know, like, there's so many of you, and then, until I've worked with the first game against, obviously we had Hull in the pre-season, and then Brighton at home, I think we lost that game. Yeah. And then that's when I heard this, I'm like, why are they singing a sponsorship song on here? You know, something about a family song, you know, and then I finally realised what it was. But, yeah.
Do you know the history behind that song?
Is it Alex McGovern or...
Yes,
yeah, I've done my research on it. So, yeah.
I'm very impressed, actually. Yeah.
I have got a lot of blues knowledge since working there. Must admit, walking around the club.
Yeah. This is why I put on my social networks when I made contact with people from Queen's Park Rangers. You know, I'm not going to tar them with the same brush. They're supporters. I'm sure they're a Queen's Park Rangers family as well, because we call ourselves the Blues family, don't we, Chris?
We're not there. We're the Crow family.
The Crow. Right. That is going to be brilliant.
I'll give you an example.
That's going to take on.
I'll give you an example now. Obviously, people can say what they want about Blues fans. You'll get people, obviously.
They do.
You'll see the papers. You'll see. I've had recently had somebody come for an interview, and he'd asked, "Did they fight here?" And I looked at him and, oh, God bless him. I kept him for 10 minutes, and I just gave him a full-on conversation. Don't worry, I'll cut it short here. But obviously, ourselves at the club, we do a lot of. Obviously, you see what's on the pitch. But off the field, we do a lot. We won the Family Excellence Award. We've recently won the Equality Standard Intermediate level. Only championship club as well to go for the advanced level. And obviously, it goes to show you the reason we're achieving these awards is, number one, hard-working people in the club, as well as that obviously it's a family club. Obviously, our fans play a part in that as well.
Seems like the staff are pretty close.
To be honest with you, it's the best place I've worked at. Yeah. Obviously, since I've been there, it is quality. It's, to be fair, you know who's who. Don't matter which department you're in, you all get on. You're a tight unit.
The powers that be, obviously, in the past were accused of being very, very distant from the club, shall we say. Obviously, you've got Panos as the chairman now. Is he regularly in contract?
He's a lovely guy.
Is he regularly?
Yes, apart from when he abuses me about Arsenal. I do get a lot of that from him. But in all fairness, while I've been there, obviously, everything's been great. To be fair, you mentioned Panos. I know you've seen social media gets on really well with the fans. Yeah, pretty sure you met him as well at the open training session that we had.
Yeah, no, I've met Panos twice. The one time, shall we say, the first time was at a Blues Ladies game. Was actually, shall we say, a little bit inebriated, and just basically
theme of the show this week.
I just basically said, Panos, when you selling the club? And he's like, "Well, you know, mate." He looked at me like I was like from planet Mars, you know. He just didn't have a clue who I was. Just
to be fair,
random fat drunk, just shouting at him.
He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, he was. He remember me months later, and he comes up to me, he goes, "You're the one when he just says the club. Look at the team now." I was like, "Still want you to sell the club, man."
In all fairness with him, he's a lovely guy. Yeah. Apart from the fact, do you guys love this now? My job is always on the line when we play Villa. When Arsenal play Villa, my job's always on the line. If you don't beat them, but they're coming back, I get told. And in all fairness, he's to be fair, he's a lovely bloke. He's always in the right place, and obviously you can all tell all the away games. He's obviously home games is always there. And
he was in a pub called the Globe on Saturday in the Baker Street.
There you go. Message from West Coast: the Crow family was worth tuning in for, with a big smile. I met Panos at the Pride of Birmingham Awards back in October. He was lovely, and he said, "Keep right on." Great guy. That was Capo.
Should have said Crow.
Pat B, great show, loving it. And Pat B was also asked by the presenter to participate after being named, which I don't want. Which I do not want my posts. My posts are being blocked. No, your posts aren't being blocked. We don't block anybody. Everybody can't block any posts. We can't.
To be honest, I don't know how to do it.
We possibly could, but
I wish you blocked me when I said the Crow family now.
Yes, yeah.
Moving swiftly on. 15 minutes to go. Super 6. How did you do this week, Mr. Brown?
Oh well, 9, I think.
9.
Was it 8 or 9? Might have been
No,
8.
it's about 9.
Yeah, no, I was 8. 8.
Was you?
Yeah,
Let
8.
me check.
Why haven't you joined our Super Six League?
Oh, I'm rubbish at predictions. I lose that many bets every week. It
Well,
makes
we
me
don't
more
mind that. We
depressed.
like people who are
Yeah.
rubbish, but that means that
And
we're
there's
not
that
losers.
wonderful trophy right behind you. To
You
win.
love me. I predicted a 4-0 Arsenal win yesterday.
It was 9.
Yeah. I predicted a 4-0 Arsenal win, so yeah.
So we have a Super Six. We have a Tilton Talk Show Super Six League running. Would you like to join it next year and be a part of it?
It's going to be a bit bigger
I'll
next
have to have
year.
a say. I'll have to have a think about it and see. Sounds interesting, but I'll
It's
have
all for
to.
fun, but the only rule of joining is if you come last, you donate £50 to Birmingham Children's Hospital through our charity.
Really good cause, to be fair.
Okay.
Currently, that's me, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is you
Barrett,
at the minute. Yeah. My son joined late on in the league.
Let me
so
see
we
how I'm
can't
doing with
count
my
it.
predictions going forward, and I'll get back to you on that.
It's just a bit of Tilton Talk
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Aamir, when are you coming back on the show? Says ELO. There you go. We haven't even
Isn't
finished
it?
it. And what, you're back
I'm
already?
back
You see how
already.
popular you are?
I do enjoy it. I must
See how
admit.
popular you are?
Door's always open.
Yeah, I must admit, Chris
Come in,
obviously has
have a
been
chat.
asking me and Nick, and I'll be honest with you, due to obviously a lot of that game being moved to
Yeah, of
night
course,
game
yeah.
and everything, it's just been a bit hectic, especially with Arsenal games coming up. Like I'm on there down there Wednesday, but I was like, I have to come in now because it's like it's a bit wrong from my part. Keep saying I'll be there, but I'm never there. But I
we know
hope
what
to
it's
make the
like.
regular thing. I've enjoyed myself.
Yeah, it's
here, and,
packaged lovely.
It was
Yes.
great, to be fair.
And we did tell you what it was all about, and I think you found out that it is.
Yeah,
what
I
it is
must
all
admit
about.
it's
It
really
is what it is.
enjoyable.
Okay, the big question of the week, and we have to ask this because we ask it every single Monday. And the question will be posed to a certain Mr. Pugh, and the question is as follows. Chris Pugh, are Aston Villa getting relegated?
No.
And he says it every week. And he says it every week.
That seems to be more
Could I
definite
ask
this week as
you,
well.
Nat, to possibly comment on that?
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, ridiculous, though. I mean,
It's supposed to be the voice of all reason, the voice of...
there is. I'll tell you what. There is actually more chance of me being named the sexiest man of 2016 than them staying up. They are not staying up. There is like.
Chris, can I ask you, why do you keep hanging on?
Yes,
you were
he's
going to
got
tell me
to,
now, aren't you?
because he said it
You were going to tell me. You were going to do a Rooney effect on me now,
No,
aren't you?
I'll say it every week. The Premier League. Apologies to Aamir. The Premier League is the worst Premier League I've known, like forever. It's the worst league I've known, and Aston Villa are currently bottom of the table, 8 points off 17th place, with 11 games to play. Last year, Leicester City, with 9 games to play, were 7 points off 17th place.
But
So
Leicester
there is
City are now
nothing
top
in it.
of the Premier League.
Yeah,
So they were
exactly.
obviously on a...
How, it's, which
Aamir,
is-
what are you
which is
shaking
my
your head
example,
for, man?
Okay. Which is, by the way, don't everybody know it that Leicester are top of the league again?
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
what a
Dennis,
joy
Dennis,
that was to
did
see
you
that
see
last
the
minute
message
goal
from
going.
Dennis? He's got a Leicester City fan
Yes,
who'd
I
like
did,
to come in on the
yeah.
show
I'd
and discuss it
love
with
to
you.
come in.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dennis, bring him on down.
I tell you,
Bring him on
I
down.
mean, the difference between Leicester last year and Villa this year, though, is that Leicester stuck together, and the manager, who's a bit of a nutter, but he always stuck up for the players. Remy Gard's press conferences every week now. He looks like a man who just.
I'm not being disrespectful. He looks worse. He looks worse than Lee Clark at the end of his reign at Birmingham.
But he just looks like a man who's bewildered. He comes out. I mean, what he said last week in the press conference, he basically came out and said these players are rubbish. I wish we had some different ones, but we don't.
And then get beat by the under 21s,
Then they got
and then get beat by
Stoke.
Stoke, and you still think they're staying up.
I don't know.
There you go. Okay,
I-
you've
Steve,
heard
they've
the voice
run-
of all reason.
I know where he's coming from.
I'll rephrase the
Can we do a
statement.
room 101 on Mr. Pugh?
I don't see any reason why they can't stay up.
It's
That's-
mathematically
that-
possible.
That
I
is
can
my
give you
that's
that.
my statement. There is every chance of them staying up. The myth that they're gone is with 11 games left in this league. I don't buy that.
See, my opinion now. I would say the football fan. I understand Villa have stayed up every season.
For the past 4 years.
Every season there's been a Benteke. You take a Benteke, there's always been someone.
Yeah.
And I think possibly this could be the difference this year. Whereas you haven't got that one player. I think every club, to be fair, when you look around, who stayed up, there's always one player you have who just stands out and you know will get you out. I'm pretty sure it's that club did. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think back now. I'm sure Wigan had that with Hugo Rodallega once upon a time.
Rodallega, yeah.
They had players. Obviously, your club always has a certain number of players, but in this case, I could be wrong, but I disagree with you on that.
I
But
hope you're wrong. I hope I'm wrong, I'd love them to go.
SKC says they were essentially gone at Christmas. Remy Gard's press conferences are hilarious, according to SKC. And Villa confirmed down April the 9th, and I'm sticking by it. That's Big Sambo. Get the straight jacket. The padding room is ready, Mr. Pugh.
Didn't they make a change,
Can we relegate Mr. Pugh?
Didn't they make a change, though? 2 years ago, you guys were probably sat here talking about Birmingham in that way.
We were.
And then now, that's great time.
Listen,
we were gone.
And now look at
we have been so
I think
very
people
scared.
will realise how
so
much.
very scared.
Oh, gosh. I remember after that Wigan game, it was a horrible feeling.
Yeah. Competition, Chris. Have we got one on this week?
We're going to do one this week.
We're going to do one. Are we going to start it tonight?
We'll do. Yes. Yes.
So it's Guess the Gate. You can only do this on
our Tilton Talk page.
On the Tilton Talk page. The competition will be up after the show, and it will be Guess the Gate within 200 and guess the score.
Can I guess? What's the deadline up to guess till? You know,
for you.
Is it up to kick off? You know, like literally. I'll be more than happy to guess the gate.
Not a problem. I'm sure we could sort you a special prize out, like a cup final DVD or some framed tickets.
I'm not gonna lie, when you walk in the club shop and you see that, it's not the best. I'll tell you the worst thing about it. When I come for my interview, this is in June 2013,
right.
And I'm blimey, I feel old now. I still remember the first time I stepped foot at St Andrews. It's the first thing I see when I get into the reception tomorrow.
On the right-hand side.
I thought, great. This is just what I needed. So yeah.
So do you think Arsenal fans, do they ever like rib you and say, what are you doing?
See, I do get it. I get it from Blues fans. How come you sport?
That's the kind of question I was going to ask is do you think they employed you out of sympathy?
If they did, I don't mind because they got me in this position. But I do get asked quite a lot, like, you know, I had it today actually. Someone's come to get some tickets, bless them, they're two nurses, and they've asked, you know, who do you support? And I'm like, Oscar, they're like, how come you support working for the Blues? I'm like, you don't have to support the club to work for them. They'll give you 100%, don't matter which club you support. In all fairness though, I do feel a part of the club. Someone did say to me, who's your second team? I would say Birmingham City.
And that's nice because, you know, before obviously you were associated with any part of the club. You didn't feel that at all. So you'd walk past and you'd go...
Exactly, and it's just like, obviously I used to walk past, and I'll be honest with you, I never told much of it. Originally I'm from Aston, so I used to be literally down.
Sorry?
Funny enough, you'll like this. Guess what actually made me support Arsenal? You'll enjoy this.
Sorry, that's one of two words that aren't allowed in the studio.
Guess what actually made me support Arsenal? You'll enjoy this.
Go on, mate.
It's a really weird story, this is. Obviously, when we used to live in that area.
B6.
B6. My family, obviously, my relatives, they used to be big fans of B6 Club.
Yeah.
And I remember with the Coca-Cola Cup semi-final against Arsenal.
Arsenal lost, didn't they?
Yes, that was it. And it was on back then, you used to have everything on ITV.
Yeah. Black and white TV then,
Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Back then, when you never had none of these touchscreen, the mobile camera phones. And... basically, I still remember watching them play, and everyone was just backing B6 team.
Yeah.
So I thought, I want a bit of banter here, I'll just support the opposition team. And I just started supporting Arsenal from there. But it's weird how I'm working at Birmingham City. Yeah. And the reason I'm supporting Arsenal is because of the team that they played against.
Yeah, right, okay.
I remember reading Tony Adams played that game stone drunk.
Good old Tony Adams.
He could do it then.
He could drink as much as he wanted, a legend for me.
There are, of course, other good footballers.
But yes.
7 minutes to go. Where's that gone to? Let's have a look at the chat box. Aamir, can you come back on the show the day that the Vile get relegated and stand there for the whole show laughing at Mr. Pugh?
I've been invited to a lot of parties in regards to them going down. I'm always getting posts on Facebook.
There are posts from a certain page which I've not joined and I won't join until such time as that fat lady's singing. There you go. Gents, when you go to work and your boss doesn't invest in you, things get bad. That's the same as what's happening at the Villa. And Aamir, come with us on the Tilton Talk Show party bus. We're having a laugh-a-thon at the relegation of B6. That will take place on the 23rd of April 2016, all the way to and from Huddersfield.
Will the Crow family be there?
The Crow family.
It's already on the internet now. You see that? The Crow family.
Oh, fantastic. Why did I open my mouth? I still remember. Oh, serious. The worst thing is the guy actually agreed with me. He's like, "Yeah, we're a Crow family." I'm like, "Right, family." It's like, you hear all of these.
Do you know what I wish? I mean, I wish that guy had actually been me. Oh, brilliant.
He must have left that shop thinking, "Who the heck does this club like?"
I was shaking my hand at the end of it, I'm sure. Must have put in a good word, yep, because it's the Crow family.
Going back to tickets for a couple of minutes, I saw a message earlier, and I thought I'd bring this one to your attention to see what you'd take. I don't know. It's a guy called John Watkins. I'm a Platinum Away Travel member, excuse me, and I bought 2 tickets for me and a friend, Silver member, for the Queen's Park game. The seats that were allocated were probably the worst seats in the ground, stuck right up at the back corner of the upper tier. I asked for upper tier seats, but didn't expect the rubbish seats we were given. It's happened at Leeds and Fulham, and I don't like the look of the seat I've got at Blackburn. If supporters who travel regularly are going to be rewarded with first ticket availability, can the club make sure that we get a choice of the better seats at the away matches? I suppose from what you explained earlier, how the sales have to progress from back to front. That's very difficult.
I'll give you a perfect example now. When we played Aston Villa now, we had the lower tier and the upper tier. Yeah. Now I know a lot of fans wanted the upper tier. Now you may remember everyone got the lower tier to start off with, but we were told selling from the corner block Q7, I'm pretty sure it was, all up Q1, I'm pretty sure, going all the way across. So,
sorry, Aamir, the king of the crows.
You're the king of the crows now. But
it's like, from our point, we would love to give the best seats available. Yep. We really would. But unfortunately, if a club says to us, start selling from, just say, L1, and somebody wants a seat in L5, which is more central, just say we don't sell enough tickets, for example. You say Ipswich.
You got them on the right.
You say L1, L3, and you got the one. The last thing they want is to go to the game and then get it moved. Simply because of the fact that obviously they'd rather get everybody in one section.
So it is basically then the away club, the home club, as we would be the way, but the dictate where those sales go. So that's quite adequate.
If they do like to contact us with any requests, obviously, if we can help, run into that area, we will. But again, it's all up to the away club most of the time.
What I say to John there, though, quickly, is that if he's worried about a seat, getting a seat at Blackburn, I don't think he'll be short of choice, you know what I mean?
Another one that I saw, Aidan Taylor, just had a chat with my mate who apparently, because Wolves have messed up sending the away tickets, we've got to go and collect them from Wolves' ticket office on match day. Joke that.
I'm not
is
really
that,
aware of
you're
that
not
one.
aware of that?
But if he's spoken to the ticket office team, I'm guessing.
Aidan Taylor, I think Aidan listens in, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he would have spoken to one of my colleagues, obviously, which I might not be aware of the situation, which he would have explained. But
no problem.
To be fair, as Nat's been before, you can collect your ticket from an away ground. You don't have a problem at all. You'll just go in there, collect. It's straightforward. It's like the ticket collection at the Blues.
Cracking. Right, you work for Birmingham City Football Club?
Yes.
When's the next home game?
On Thursday.
What date is it?
The 2nd of March, isn't it? 3rd of March. I'm sorry, I'm off to the Arsenal game on the 2nd.
So it's the 3rd of the 3rd.
Yes.
What's happening at Oath at 3:33?
I wish I knew. Could you tell me, please? What are we on about?
Have you not seen that on the club website? There's something.
I've seen something, but
3:33.
I was hoping you guys would give me an answer.
I thought it was 3 pies for £3.
3:33. You and pies.
But I don't know.
3:33 on the 3rd of the 3rd. There's going to be some kind of announcement. We don't know what.
We don't know what it is.
We have no Tilton Talk inside information at this present point in time.
I think I might have an idea.
You might have an idea. You want to say that off air or?
Well, it's a charming day, isn't it?
We'll say it off air.
Off air, no problem. Yeah, okay. So on the 3rd of the 3rd at 3:33, listening to.
You really don't know.
I don't even know it existed until you just mentioned it to
there
me.
You go.
Where have you seen it?
On the Blues Club, on the Blues website.
Social media.
I don't go on social media. I don't see nothing. So
you did when Arsenal got beat the other day.
He knows, you know.
Yeah, but he does.
I wish I did know, but unfortunately.
Do you know, Aamir? Do you know?
I don't know anything.
He doesn't know anything.
I don't know anything, honestly.
Do you know what? Psychologically, when I looked into his eyes, he didn't look away. So you don't know anything, do you?
I don't know anything. The only thing I know is we got on that game.
Nat Peters thinks he knows something. Chris Brown, do you know anything?
No,
I don't know anything.
That guy in the shout box won't be on the right line as well. If you can kind of
yes, that's been an assumption. But there you go.
It's exciting though, whatever it is. It seems exciting because from what I can tell, it's built interest. I really wish
I love things like that. I love things like that when they drop something out like that. It gets social media buzzing and it gets people talking.
But it can be a letdown.
That's what we have.
It can be a big build up to nothing.
Speaking from
the heart.
Speaking from experience, I'd rather a club that did things like that and put things like that out there than not put anything on social media.
I think it's been brilliant.
I think it's great fan engagement, to be fair, because it gets everyone involved.
Yeah.
Chris,
I love the Throwback Thursday videos.
Yeah.
That's what
Brighton 4-0 up at half-time. There you go. That was incredible.
4-0 up at half-time,
Chris
wow.
Pugh, question for you. What a statement. Or, no, actually a name. Gianni Infantino?
Yes.
What do you reckon?
I don't know enough about him. The little
Oh,
I've seen, he wants to change the World Cup to 40 teams, which he'd do well to get that through because that's going to be a logistical nightmare. My only issue is that he's Platini's buddy from UEFA. Now, whether that has anything to do with it, and maybe he steps down when Platini comes back, I don't know. But
Very strange.
you've got to give him a chance.
You've got to give him a chance, absolutely. Aamir, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you.
It's been a pleasure coming
9
here.
o'clock.
Thank you for your
An
time.
hour and a half has just gone in no time
I think
at
you
all.
need to extend the
Absolutely
time for the
incredible.
next one, eh?
Thanks for being so open with all your questions. Well, your answers more than the questions, to be perfectly honest with you. And thanks for joining in. So we now have to put a vote out. Aamir, friend of the show?
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show?
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. You're officially a friend of the show.
Fantastic.
As is
Matt,
not
do you want your Blackburn ticket?
Thanks ever so much for giving your
I appreciate you
time.
coming on.
This has
Thanks
been
for
the
your
Tilton
time,
Talk Show. Monday
great.
nights we do this 7:30 till 9 every single week, sponsored by the ELO Group. Have yourselves a great week. Get down to St Andrews on Thursday. It's £10 a ticket. Let's fill the place. Let's stick 2 fingers up to Sky TV. We hate Sky TV because they put too much money into football and they destroy it. Goodbye. Have a nice week. And thanks, Chris Pugh.
Thank you.
And thanks, Chris Brown.
Good night.
Nat. Good night, God bless, and
Keep
take
right
care
on.
of me. Keep right on. The Crow, King of the Crows. King of the Crows. Come here, everybody. Cheers.
Following the blue